जीवन आम पृथ्वी को अवक्षय राक्षस कबल बंचाइबा को हेबो आउ एथिपाई समस्तंकु एकजुट होई लागिबाकु पड़िबो। एथिपाई लोड़ा जनजागरण और जनसंकल्प। संवाद ग्रुप रा अनन्य अभियान पुनश्च पृथ्वी एही लक्ष्य पाई समर्पित। आसंतु एही अभियान रे शामिल हुंतु, आम संगरे हाथ मिलांतु। विश्वर सर्वबृहत गणमाध्यम नेतृत्व रे आरंभ होईची परिवेश आंदोलन। किशोर युवक मानंकु नै करा जायछि वृक्षरोपण। स्थायी भविष्यत पाई निया जायछि गुरुत्वपूर्ण जलवायु पदक्षेप। जलवायु कार्यक्रम पाई गणमाध्यम विप्लव। संबाद डिजिटल रेडियो चॉकलेट कनक न्यूज रो मिलित उद्यम रे चलिछि परिवेश विप्लव। 147 निर्वाचन मंडली परिवेश उत्साही दल मुख्य मानंकु नीति निर्माता मानंकु सक्रिय भाव में सामिल करी परिवेश पंचायत मान आयोजन करा जायछि। 500 रु अधिक संवादर सांबादिक माने परिवेश उपरे रिपोर्ट करुछंती। 3 दिनिया पुनश्च पृथ्वी सम्मेलन अनुष्ठित होई जायछि। युव केन्द्रिक परिवेश कार्यक्रम मानंकु गुरुत्व दिया जायछि। 2024 रु 2036 पर्यंत निया जायछि 12 वर्ष अवधिर लक्ष्य। छात्र छात्री मानंक पई संवाद तरफरु आयोजित होईछि जलवायु भित्तिक प्रतियोगिता। प्रति घरे परिवेश योद्धा सृष्टि करी ओडिशा को एकाठी करिबा ही पुनश्च पृथ्वी आंदोलन।
Thank you so much. We have today Director Eastern Media Limited, Dr. Monica Nair Patnaik. Ma'am, I request to kindly grace the stage with your presence and present the keynote address, please.
शुभ संध्या। समस्त को संवाद परिवार तरफ स्वागत जनाऊँची, अभिनंदन जनाऊँची, शुभेच्छा जनाऊँची। Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Sambad Group, I welcome all of you to this beautiful, yet again, another edition of Sambad CEO Conclave 2026. I still remember, to just put the perspective into everybody's mind, I remember 2022, just after pandemic, we were sitting with a group of our stakeholders as well as our staff, and we were wondering what next we can do to have a dialogue, a discussion. Then it came, then maybe we can have something like the industry interface and talks where people can talk about it, what is the future of industry in the next few years. And there, in 2022, we started this Sambad CEO Conclave 22. That was the first time, and that was, the topic was pandemic and beyond. And it was wonderful because, you know, we were very confused. What is going to happen to the industries? What is going to happen to us, the employees, the staff, the people? And what is going to go, because we have had a terrible time during pandemic. So there was a discussion and deliberations, and believe it or not, it just set the tone right. And that told us, no, we can do it again. Next year also, we had a conference, we had this conclave, and I remember the topic was industry challenges and prospects. Third conclave when we had, it was very, very pertinent to today's topic. It was sustainability in practices. How as industry and policymakers, how as CEO and CEOs, we will be able to help our industries be a green industry, be a sustainable industry. And yet, definitely we took out some inputs and extracted so that we could also present it to the government of Orissa, how we can go forward from here. Next, when we were talking about, it was till today the topic is so relevant, I think all of you were there, it was AI in the age of industries, and how do we tackle that? Artificial intelligence is not one name, you know, would we want to talk about industries, but what is it going to take us further and forward? So AI was also one big thing that time and this time also. When we were talking about what next, or the 5th edition would look like, it propped up And everywhere when we were talking about that, what is that we need to talk about here in Odisha? The future of industries in Odisha was pertinent to all of us. We wanted to know how will we be furthering this. And believe it or not, the government, the talk, the session, the write-ups, everywhere it helped us make this decision for the topic stronger and stronger, India's Eastern Engine, Odisha's time to lead. And that's how we have been taking the journey of Sambad CEO Conclave year on year, year on year. So to just put it in the context, I wanted to just share with you, that is how it began, the Sambad CEO Conclave. I also thank all my guests who have come from all over the country, for panelists, for guest of honors, for distinguished people who are here, and also thank all my team who have been able to help us put across this show. And of course, the partners without those, we would not been able to take forward. Lastly, I would thank all my readers to make Sambad #1. I also thank all my viewers to make Kanak News, the Odisha's #1 news channel. Listeners, Radio Chocolate, Odisha's Apna One #1 FM channel, and the surfers who have been surfing our SAMBAD Digital. It goes without saying that all the help and all the things which have been made Odisha's #1 Sambad group in the media and entertainment industry is just because the hands behind Amo Odisha, which has helped us gain this prominence, gain this #1 status by the blood donation drives and promoting Odia language and literature. So hope this discussions today with all the stalwarts that we have tonight will help all of us make reader-specific input that we can share it with the government, with us, to take it forward. Thank you very much and have a good evening. Thank you.
Whether it is literature, whether it is Raktadan Sivira, whether it is environment or any ground. It's been more than 4 decades Sambad is working towards the betterment of the sector and trying to be the voice of the voiceless and a strong voice of the state of Odisha. So let's have a look on the corporate video, please.
A new era dawned in Odisha on October 4, A new era dawned in Odisha on October 4, 1984, with the foray of Sambad into the print media landscape. The readers got fresh news instead of stale news after the morning edition was launched, doing away with the dark edition. Since then, Sambad Group has been able to relentlessly disseminate news from nook and cranny of the state to emerge as the largest media conglomerate of the state. Kanak News has also been able to carve out a special identity as a 24/7 news channel. It has diligently served as the 4th pillar of democracy by being the voice of the voiceless. Sambad Group has played a leading role in bringing news from across the world to your fingertips. Our digital media wing is always ahead of others in bringing news to you.
A very good morning.
Radio Chocolate is well ahead of its competitors in broadcasting soulful songs and heart-touching stories. Odisha's first private radio station, Radio Chocolate 104 FM, has been listeners' first choice. Chocolate Productions, a theatrical venture of Sambad Group, stages plays resonating with Odisha's cultural and historical ethos. The plays, staged all over India, enthralled the audiences with their power-packed performances. Sambad Sahitya Ghara, monthly magazines Porusho and Katha play a pivotal role in keeping Odia language, literature and culture alive. No one shall die for want of blood. Ama Orissa is doing an exemplary service to the society by organizing statewide blood donation camps. Institutes under the aegis of Sambad Group of Institutions are playing a key role in offering scholarships and affordable courses to meritorious students. Sambad Group organizes a series of flagship events throughout the year, celebrating corporate excellence, women's achievements, students' accomplishments, vibrant musical extravaganzas, and also promoting environmental awareness, all fostering community development. Sambad Group's unparalleled contribution in the fields of journalism, education, literature, information, and social welfare has etched new imprints on the map of Odisha. We are Sambad Group, Odisha's #1 media house, always ahead.
Thank you. For decades, Odisha has been celebrated for its immense potential. But today the narrative has shifted, driven by a massive industrial surge, world-class infrastructure, and a booming ecosystem of innovation. Odisha is rapidly transforming into an economic powerhouse. Over the course of this session, we will dive deep into these three critical pillars are shaping the state's future: attracting global investments and empowering its people. Let's unlock the ideas, strategies, and blueprints that are building the new Odisha. Let's begin the insightful discussion on from potential to powerhouse, industry, infrastructure, and innovation as Odisha's growth pillars. As we look at the rapidly evolving landscape of Indian manufacturing and core infrastructure, leadership becomes the ultimate differentiator. To guide us through this session, we are very privileged to have with us a stalwart of industrial excellence. Please put your hands together as we welcome the man steering one of the country's most state-of-the-art manufacturing hubs, Mr. Jagannath Prasad Naik, President and Unit Head at Aditya Aluminium Hindalco Industries Limited, with a vision rooted in operational excellence, sustainability, and community empowerment. He continues to drive unprecedented growth. We welcome you, sir, with a very open heart. And when we talk about true corporate leadership, is measured not just by production volumes, but by the lives uplifted along the way. And it is my absolute privilege to introduce a leader who has seamlessly bridged the gap between heavy industries and heartfelt community development. He spearheads the massive social development and sustainability portfolio for one of the India's leading industrial conglomerates. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage the President and Group Head of CSR, Education and Sustainability at Jindal Steel and Power, Mr. Prashant Kumar Hota. Hello. Okay. A very good evening and welcome both of you on the stage, sir. It's my privilege to share the stage with both of you. I'll start with you, Hota sir. Odisha witnessed a significant industrial growth in the last decade. So according to you, what has been the biggest driver behind this achievement?
Thank you. And thank you all for being here. And thanks, Sambad, for giving this opportunity. We have been partnering with each other for the vibrant growth of Odisha. We are more partners than client and spokesperson relationship. See, the question is, what is the biggest driver for this change? If you ask me, there is only one word. It is the people who live in Odisha and the people who love Odisha. They have been the biggest driver, because once we talk of Odisha, everybody who knows Odisha, they know that Odisha is the biggest potential in India. If you talk of potential, be it be mineral resources, be it be coastal line, be it be forest resources, be it be water resources, to the per capita space for development. This is another dimension I am adding to you for everybody. This is one state which is having the geographical size of 1.85 square kilometer of space manned by only 4.5 crore of people. Look at my neighboring state, loving Bengal, where the geographical area is 85,000 square kilometer and population is 11.5 crore. So the population density, if you compare with any other state, here there is per capita development space is very high.
So in some way you will give the credit to the people of Odisha.
Yeah, I'm telling you that Odisha is something. And another thing, the modern dimension is that, present dimension. This is the strongest, fiscally strongest state which is having the lowest debt GSTP.
Okay.
You see, our debt ratio is one of the lowest in the country, whereas India is aspiring to become 55%. That means 55 rupees out of 100 rupees is going
Okay.
for debt servicing. Odisha is only 13.4. And our GDP growth is 7.9% against
So we are in
India.
a good position in that way. Okay, I'll come to Jagannath sir as well. Sir, if we talk about the industrial growth of Odisha, so we can say that steel and aluminium sector hold the major portion. According to you, what other sectors beyond this have the growth potential for Odisha?
Good evening. Thank you all, and thank you, Sambad Eastern Media Group, for giving us this opportunity to be a panelist in this August gathering. So to your question on steel and aluminum industry, like this state of Odisha is endowed with a lot of natural resources. So we have almost 25% of iron ore reserves of the country. We have almost 50% of the bauxite reserves, which is used for aluminum making of the country. And we are the leading producer of aluminum, almost near about 2.7 to 3 million tons we produce. It's almost two-thirds of the aluminum that we produce in India. And steel also is doing very well. I think 1/4 of the steel production is from the state of Odisha. So my point is, we have got a lot of expansion plans, definitely, because we are very closer to the resources here. But as a for a responsible, environmentally sound and sustainable growth, the manufacturing industries, along with the manufacturing industry growth, we should also focus on non-manufacturing type of industries, and that is happening in Odisha. I am very proud to say that semiconductor manufacturing has come into Odisha. There are plans for aerospace and defense product manufacturing in Odisha. A lot of renewable energy generating facilities are coming up in Odisha, because that is the future for Green India's future, and to become have India become net zero in 2070. So a lot of renewable energy push is required everywhere. So that is also an area where a lot of efforts and a lot of investment commitments are being seen.
Sure.
So these are the areas, like along with the growth, moderated growth of the existing manufacturing industries like steel, aluminum and other
So we can
metals.
say like we have a very vast scope in these fields, so we have to give the importance to these sectors as well. Okay,
Yes, yes.
I'll come to you. Prashant sir, most of Odisha's industrial districts. Okay, Prashant sir, most of the Odisha's industrial districts often coexist with tribal and rural population. So what are some successful models of CSR and community partnerships that create sustainable socio-economic transformation?
Okay, I will first talk of the pain points and what are the successful models. Otherwise, it will not be clear actually. The pain point is that the 80% of the GDP contributors are coming from industry and service sector. Okay, and 20%, hardly 20%, 18% is coming from agriculture. Whereas on these 18%, 60% of the people are dependent on this. So this is one pain point, there is inequity in that. Another thing, the GDP which I am talking about, that we are aspiring for $500 billion in 2036. The GDP, if you see, the Khorda is $18.67 billion, followed by Ganjam is $5.83 billion, whereas Fulbani is $0.29 billion, Deoghar is $0.42 billion. So you can see the disparity in the growth. So that is where the CSR can come in with this sort of pain points. Because what are the CSR successful models I can tell, it is an integrated model that will, number one is that the basic facilities like health. See, government has lot of hospitals, but there is no doctors, there is a dearth of doctors. And there is accessibility problems. There are lot many things. So what is the successful model which we have, at least I can tell what Jindal is having. Jindal started with a very decent and very innovative area, that when government was thinking of the woman and the child and the girl child and everything, Jindal picked up the topic of adolescent healthcare. Adolescent is something which is a stage which actually makes and breaks a person. So there the adolescent healthcare, adolescent education and everything Jindal through Kishori Express, which is a very all India name of intervention of Jindal. After that, Jindal is switching over to climate change and natural farming. You know that when the stratosphere is getting colder by 10 degrees centigrade, the surface temperature is going up, we are sandwiched. So there, the environmental intervention, the environmental stewardship of Jindal is planting in number 75 lakhs of trees through the thing. The biggest provider of employment is the MSMEs. They are to be taken care, they are to be nourished, they are to be nurtured, they are to be partnered. Because the bigger industries, when the capital investment is growing up, look at the bigger steel plant and everything, the proportion of employment is decreasing. But the role of the industries lies that creating micro-entrepreneurship, creating sustainable livelihood option for the farmer, making the agriculture climate resilient. These are the models of natural farming, these are the models of Jindal Vet Seva, which we are doing.
Okay.
So you have to look at a family as a micro project. Every family is a project. Every family. Health issues, livelihood issues, education issues. If you go family-wise planning, you come with an integrated plan. And right why Jindal's highest investment is in education. Now 30% of Jindal's investment is in education. Right from Anganwadi to world-class universities, as you know.
I'll come to these CSR activities
this sort
again.
of models, integrated model,
Okay.
has really helped Jindal
Okay.
to really create this social wealth called industries when people are scared of entering into the Odisha
Okay,
domain.
it is very welcoming step by the company that they are working to the betterment of the community partnership as well. I'll come to Jagannath sir. Sir, the Paradeep, Dhamra and Gopalpur coastal belt is emerging as a major industrial and logistic corridor. So do you think that it will strengthen Odisha's potential to become the logistic gateway of Eastern India?
Yes, definitely. For industry to prosper, actually logistic is one of the key aspects of it, and having this long coastline and having multiple port options, and so these waterways and import of materials become very easy. And like we have, one is port logistics, one is railway logistics, one is road logistics. Logistics infra is very, very critical to any industry to grow and excel. So we as Aditya Birla Group and Hindalco Industries Limited, we also have good presence in Odisha. Like we have integrated operations in aluminum making, like bauxite mining, then alumina refining, then aluminum smelting, then aluminum downstream. And it's a good policy of this government of Odisha that they want all these resources, when they are mined out, they should get value added within the state of Odisha. So that has helped us in making sure that we have all these facilities all in Odisha.
But to sir,
integrated
expand
operations.
this opportunity, what should be the next stage of infrastructural planning for this corridor?
Yeah, we need to have more of dependency. Like in our unit at Lapanga, we are almost more than 70% of our logistics. We are actually, it's through railway mode. So that always helps. So whenever we are expanding our industries or scaling up things, we need to also look at the railway infrastructure. Mostly the manufacturing industries, they use lot of bulk raw materials actually. So they need to be, if it is through the railway route, including your solid waste and other waste, so it is always a very, very sustainable model of transportation.
Okay.
So road logistics can take care of your finished goods and other things to the market, but railway logistics is one of the things, railway infrastructure, because India and in Odisha also a lot of things are getting developed as far as railway infrastructure is concerned. And our focus as a group and as a company also, that we are focusing more on railway infrastructure for all our inbound and outbound material movement.
Prashant sir, when we talk about employment and employment generation, it is a very long-standing debate in Odisha. As industries increasingly adopt AI, automation and smart manufacturing, it is creating a concern about generating employment. So how can Odisha balance this technical advancement and engage its young workforce force in the same industry?
See, deploying the youth in the same industry and providing sustainable employment with dignity, that is, both are two, maybe they are in one page, catering to one concern, but finally what the youth needs is that, for example, I am telling you, maybe 5 years down the line, we were thinking of skilling means plumbing, electrician, AC mechanic, maybe a fitter, the air condition mechanic, that was the thing, and we are getting average people who are average students who are not able to come to the mainstream. Now, you ask anybody, he wants to be an AI technician, he wants to be an EV technician, he wants to learn semiconductor, he wants to know mechatronics, and since the world is small and the buildings are many, so people are trying to learn vertical technology, so it is now aspirational. So any industry which is in aspirational skilling, they are the people who are going to the best neighbor for the people. See, that's why I'm telling you today,
always a complaint
I'll
about
just complete this.
Okay.
Today, just before coming to this meeting, I had a meeting with Government of Odisha on PM Setu. PM Setu is something Prime Minister's self-employment and training, self-employment transformation through upgraded ITIs. We are upgrading the government ITIs to catering to the aspiration of the youth.
Okay.
So unless you make if you leave the youth barefoot, they cannot fit to the futuristic industry.
But
You
here
have to
comes the
give them
major
skill.
concern of engagement or employment of the local
Through
youth
skilling, through skilling.
or the Odisha youth.
Yeah, I am talking of local youths only.
Okay.
Because every industry, for everybody's knowledge I am telling, every industry wants to really, has an appetite
Okay.
to observe the local youth.
Okay.
Only thing there is a mismatching of skill.
Okay, sir.
Once you give the skill, things will automatically have a win-win situation.
Okay, I'll come to Jagannath sir. We have a very less time and we also have the question and answer session so the audience can also question both of you. Sir, investors and industry leaders today evaluating the projects through ESG. So sustainability parameters are always a big factor nowadays. How can Odisha maintain rapid growth while ensuring the environmental protection, responsible mining and community welfare?
Yeah, in this growth phase of our state of Odisha, actually we have to be very, very mindful of these ESG obligations. I would say it is more of a proactive efforts have to come from the industries and the companies. As far as sustainability is concerned, we are whenever we are scaling up, we'll have to look for some innovative solutions as far as your raw material usage is concerned, as far as your emissions are concerned. Like one or two things that are happening in today's industries is the use of replacing thermal power with the renewable power actually. So in 7 different locations in India, we produce aluminum, primary aluminum. So we are the first unit in Odisha at Lapanga where we have introduced this RE-RTC. Renewable power is in use, but RTC concept, round the clock, because many of the manufacturing industries, they need steady power round the clock, 24 hours a day. So the combination of solar, only solar will not do. So solar, wind power and pumped hydro can take care of your daytime, evening time and the night time. So that we have introduced almost 100 megawatt we are drawing through the national grid, through the 400 kV network. And we have a plan of scaling it up to 300 megawatt. So that way we'll be replacing all the energy intensive processes or industries can really reduce their carbon load by introducing this RE-RTC concept. So these are the steps actually. You have to also take some innovative and step jump initiatives wherein you can really contribute to the to the environment and the sustainable initiatives.
Okay.
One more thing I would like to cite on the circular economy, like in the metal industries, we always prefer to have the primary route of its production, and it is very energy intensive. So aluminum also has a option of going through the secondary route, like a lot of aluminum usage also has gone up. I'll give the example of aluminum because I am from aluminum. So per capita consumption is also increasing. So what do we do with the waste that is getting generated? So we have taken an initiative from Hindalco, like we have put up a recycling facility, because recycling of aluminum and getting that aluminum only uses 7% of the total energy that is used through the primary route. So we have put up 1 lakh ton of capacity through a partner called CMR Green. They are into metal recycling. And if this experimentation is successful, so we would go, so there you conserve all your resources. Second, you conserve your energy. And you do this recycle. Recycling, collection of scrap and all those things also has to become more organized in India. Because
Absolutely.
so this kind of initiatives are very much required to become more sustainable in the future.
So if I ask you in a single line, as you say the initiatives, what is the initiative of Aditya Aluminium for generating employment of the local youths?
Yeah, as a group actually we have total almost 40,000 crores invested in the state of Odisha, employing almost 28,000 of people. And we have a plan of another investment of around 40,000 crores and generating an employment of around 12,000 to 15,000.
Okay.
And our 82%, more than 80% employees are from domicile state of Odisha. And what we are doing, our expansion plans are not only in manufacturing side. Okay, so metal expansion, mining, upstream expansion, those are happening. But we are also bringing in, like we have a group company called Aditya Birla Renewable Energy. So they are also putting renewable generating facilities in India.
Then I can draw this line from your answer, sir. Sorry for the interruption. That your expansion. Okay.
The second expansion that we are doing is on the garment manufacturing. Because we have a Aditya Birla fashion retail company. So we are taking that ownership, like one garment factory is running in Mancheswar. So we are putting up 3 more factories, and that will also help us in giving employment to ladies actually, and the girls with a little bit of skilling. Almost 5,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 lady employees will get employed there.
The more you expand, the more hope among youth will be generated of getting the chance of an employment. Thank you so much for your insightful opinions. Now I open the mic to the audience for any question to our panelists, please. If anyone want to ask question, please. Okay. Can I have the mic for him? Yes, 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 sir. Aage.
My
Please
name
make
is
the
Sisir
question very
Sahu.
short and soft, sir.
Yeah, straight question. I like to you both the giant industry house in Odisha. What do you do about industry and academia relationship in Odisha? I think it's missing a lot, and both the industries I know. So I like to your insights on that. What kind of industry academia relationship you are doing?
You're asking me?
Both to both.
Okay. Let me tell you, now it is the era of Industry 4.0, and the industry where it has to go, industry knows that there is one planet, and the industry is just social wealth. So without the academia collaboration, we cannot think of hydrogen applications to make green steel. We cannot really think of the renewable energy, what we intend to use, and we cannot really make our industry fully AI driven. And let me tell you one thing, Odisha is a unique state, which is a mineral driven economy and which is a logistic driven economy. And both are now getting into digital space. So how do you think that, we need to collaborate more with the industries, like we are now signing even for our national flag, we are Flag Foundation of India and this thing. That also we are signing MOUs with the ITIs and everything for every small thing. And PM Setu, I have just mentioned, we are upgrading the ITIs. And the C.V. Raman University also we are working with. Also Centurion University we are. So just examples I am giving. And also ITI Delhi, IIT Delhi we are working. The point is, there is no escape now. Because the ESG thing which he has mentioned, no, that is something a compelling factor. When we look at a mountain, it looks green, we become happy. But the disturbing picture is that the top of the Himalayas is looking green. That is the most disturbing factor. That is why it is leading to the sea level rising. So point is, industry has a compulsion to come with the brains in the academia, and the academics also has a compulsion to think industry appropriate. Both have to go together.
Okay.
So that is the real problem, because application part of the academia is more important, and industries also has to be inclined to give that space, that freedom, that opportunity to the academics.
Okay,
So both can
Jagannath,
go
sir.
together in mutual interest.
Okay. So your opinion?
Yeah, shortly, I think a lot to improve because we have got very premier engineering institutes in Odisha. If you call NIT Rourkela, Visud, Bulla, there are a lot of institutes in Bhubaneswar as well. So industry has got a lot of challenges, problems, technical issues. So maybe we have to interface more so that all these, in the institutions, whoever are there, actually they get a chance to work on the live problems, so that more of this application part they get that exposure. And the other side, like IIM Sambalpur we have there, so we have partnered with them because industry also needs lot of leadership pipeline development. So we are also taking advantage of those institutes in training many of our bright employees in getting that management education so that they become leaders of the future. So both ways that interaction can happen, and both will also get benefited, and it is in the interest of the larger mass of our state.
Okay. Any more question? Okay. We can conclude like human capital is always considered more important than natural resources. So we hope that Odisha and companies like yours will invest more in education and research and make the youth of today's Odisha skill ready. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here today with us on this stage.
One sentence I am telling to everybody, let's be proud that we are from Odisha. My one point to everybody, because where infrastructure gives connectivity, industry creates wealth, innovation creates prosperity, it has to be equitable, and nothing is more equitable than our culture, that the culture of Jagannath. So we should be, once that Odia pride is in us, I think sky is the limit for us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So we accept that we have the potential, but it is on you guys to make this powerhouse. Thank you so much for being here with us today on this stage. I request Chairman Eastern Media Limited, Sri Somiranjan Patnaik, sir, to come on stage and felicitate both of our panelists, please. Everyone, let's welcome with big hand Honorable Minister of the State, Sri Suresh Pujari, sir. Okay, moving on. Journalism does not record just history, it drives it. Today, Odisha stands at a pivotal crossroads, transforming from a rich cultural cradle to a powerhouse of industry, infrastructure, and innovation. But how does the story of progress get told? And how does a responsible press ensure this growth of sustainable, transparent, and inclusive? Today, here we examine the vital force bridging policy and the public. Moving on to our next segment, journalism at a catalyst for growth, shaping Odisha's future through industry, infrastructure, and innovation. To lead this discussion, we are joined by an absolute titan of international broadcasting with nearly 3 decades of rich, award-winning journalistic experience. He has reported extensively from conflict zone and political epicenters across the United Kingdom, India, Afghanistan, and the broader South Asian landscape. From anchoring groundbreaking field reporting to winning the prestigious Peabody Award for his stellar coverage for the Rohingya refugee crisis. His editorial vision has shaped how millions consume news. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hand together for the Managing Editor and Deputy Director of Journalism for BBC News Indian Languages, Mr. Sanjay Majumdar. As we move into this segment, as moderator, we are joined by the stalwart of the media fraternity who needs no introduction to anyone. Mr. Sandeep Mishra, for nearly 3 decades, he has been a voice of uncompromised truth, sharp analysis, and fearless storytelling. So, I hand over the stage to you.
Thank you, Swastika. Good evening, everyone. Namaskar. I would really, it's an honor to welcome you to this platform.
Thank you, Sandeep.
To start with, this discussion, the topic which Swastika said, it wouldn't have been more timely because today the BJP government in Odisha is celebrating its second anniversary, and we are talking about the role of journalism vis-a-vis industry, infrastructure and innovation. So to start with, I will ask you a plain question. Can journalism play a part in shaping Odisha's future vis-a-vis the triple I's, industry, infrastructure and innovation?
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, everybody. And the simple answer to your question is, of course. See, what is journalism? Journalism in which things can happen. What is it that investors really crave, especially global investors? They look for stability. Okay? They look for political stability, they look for economic stability, and they look for social stability.
But at times what happens, the role of journalism, at times it looks like an overstatement, or maybe we are expecting a bit too much. I'm saying this in the context of the eroding credibility of journalism and journalists when you're supposed to be the voice of the voiceless, but the public trusts you less. Do you really play that role effectively?
It's a really good question because you're absolutely right. I think around the world, but especially in India, journalism is facing a crisis of credibility. I'm very lucky to belong to an international organization which still has a lot of credibility where journalism is concerned. A very good example is that at times of crisis, even the BBC's most bitter enemies will turn to see what the BBC is saying because they know in their heart of hearts that if it's not true, it's unlikely to be aired. So I think credibility is something you build over time. We happen to be at an event organized by Sambad. So big media organizations understand what it takes to build credibility, and you lose that credibility when you lose the trust of your audience. So as long as you're able to retain that trust.
But in an era where Indian media in particular is allegedly being muzzled and there's too much of corporate interest and political interest which is influencing the reportage, do you think it's possible to maintain or improve your credibility in this kind of scenario?
Absolutely. So the biggest challenge, and media around the world is facing an existential crisis at the moment. Crisis of finance, because it's becoming extremely hard to generate revenue to run your media operations. All kinds of pressures from everywhere. It's not just political, there's every kind of pressure. But the two other big factors that are impacting media businesses, one is the growth of social media, digital media, so social media influencers are playing a huge part in information dissemination. You just have to look at your WhatsApp chats every day to see the kind of videos that show up, and they can come from anywhere. And you don't even know whether they're accurate. And finally, it's artificial intelligence. AI is going to play a big role, as we all know. And the media industry is also facing huge threats from AI. Having said that, I think at its core, basic journalism is something which has always endured and will endure, because what is it that none of these people can do? Today you can go to a ChatGPT, a Grok, and say, tell me why the rupee is falling, and you'll get fantastic analysis and explanation. What you will not get is the ability to go down to, say, a coastal part of the state and find out how fishermen are being impacted by the falling rupee, which is the correlation only journalists can make when they go to the ground and do actual reporting.
As you pointed out, digital and social media has become important and they play a part in influencing policy making and governance. That's true, but the economic model for digital journalism is very difficult. Independent players who are into the digital media are increasingly finding it difficult to sustain. In this kind of a scenario, as you say, a correlation, when you have that kind of a network on the ground, where you have that number of reporters on the ground, then only you can get that kind of stories. But at times it becomes really difficult. Even legacy brands are finding it difficult to sustain.
Yeah, you're right. So there are two ends of the stick. Digital is difficult to sustain because it's very dependent on the platforms, the tech platforms. And as we all know very well, the tech platforms control everything, including the revenue you're going to get. The flip side is digital has created a level playing field. It means that the tiniest of digital organizations can reach an audience they could never have thought of. You just have to look at what community media is doing. In the north, we have Khabar Lehriya. In Odisha, I think you have Radio Namaskar. You have many, many such organizations which are working in very small communities, but they're able to reach audiences which would never have seen their content before. So I think the real plan ahead or the opportunity lies in being able to link up with these organizations. That's what we've done in the past several years. We've linked up with a number of small local media players because it's not possible for me to have a reporter in every state. I don't have one in Odisha, for instance. But I do have people here who I can rely on, or community players who I can reach, who will, I know, give me the kind of content which then I will amplify. I have the opportunity of getting content from the smallest district in Odisha out in 41 languages around the world. So somebody sitting in Colombia can actually read something that is produced by somebody in Kalahandi. That is the power of digital media, and you cannot underemphasize that.
It's true, it's the age of hyper-local journalism, and you have many platforms, but even then you need a Nisarg Adhikari, an ethical hacker, or a Vedant Srivastav to actually highlight the flaws, as was evidence in the CBSE OSM scam. So it's still these kind of individuals who are able to point out the loopholes in the system, and the media, the mainstream media, the digital, the social media couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, most don't, some do. So I think it's a question of, that's where owners come into the picture. That's where the ethics and the ideology of a media organization comes into play. There are always commercial pressures. There are always political pressures. But I think, especially in India right now, the media is obsessed with, say, politics. Look at the national media in particular. All they talk about is politics. I can tell you honestly that only 30% of the population really cares about it. Every day nobody wants to know who's with Mamta, who's not with Mamta. Beyond a point, nobody cares. What they really care about is what's impacting their lives. And that is what the faster media organizations learn to realize, that they will continue to remain relevant. Otherwise, they will slowly start getting irrelevant. Every year, the Reuters news organization brings out a state of the digital media across the world report. For the past 3 years, the one thing they've been saying is there's news fatigue. People are not interested in listening or watching the news because it's too negative. They don't care. They're tired of seeing conflict, disasters. They are looking for something that makes sense to them, whether it's solutions, whether it's an opportunity. And that's where you have the opportunity, right? How does a state like Odisha turn the corner and change the narrative, as the previous panel talked about? That is something which people around the world should get to know, because that's how you relate. There are communities in different parts of the world which will immediately recognize that, oh, what's happened there happened in my part of the world, or should happen in my part of the world. And the one thing that the digital media has done is it's just made the world much smaller. So like I said, we can connect in a way that was inconceivable even 10 or 15 years ago, and that is what forms the basis for industrial growth. It is connectivity after all.
Yeah, it's true that the digital media has democratized the media landscape, and as you said, people are suffering from news fatigue. But in an era where the national media is more into sensationalism and it's very metro-centric, how do you see the role of the regional media, especially the regional media, as a mover and shaker?
I'll give you our example. So the BBC, if you ask anywhere in the world, what is BBC known for? And they'll say BBC News English, right? That is the first thing you think about. Actually, in India, the BBC operates in 9 languages. And English is not its biggest market. Its biggest audience in the world is BBC Hindi. It has the biggest audience base compared to any BBC language anywhere in the world. I'm talking about the UK and the US. Then there are other regional languages which, Marathi, which is a very small audience base compared to, say, Tamil, which is massive for us. We started Marathi broadcasts and digital content in 2020. That's just 6 years. In 6 years, it's the 5th most consumed BBC digital platform across 42 languages, including English. So that just gives you, I think, a sense of why regional, and if a global organization like BBC can recognize the power of regional language, why shouldn't regional players recognize the immense power they have, because they're already in the ground?
You run Collective Newsroom, which provides content to BBC. Any plan of entering into the Odisha market?
Let's just say Odisha is a very attractive market for anybody interested in the media. So the media is also a business.
You're already into 9 languages, but not Odia.
We're already into 9 languages. And like I said, out of the languages that when people talk about growing in India for any organization, more and more people start talking about Odia language as one that has tremendous potential. So it's a very, very attractive market, not just for investors in other industries, but actually for investors in media industry as well.
We are discussing about the industry at large and the role of the media. There are occasions when the media reports about stories which are not necessarily liked by the industrial houses. When you talk of sustainable development, there are stories which are against mining, which talks about displacement, and the journalists who do those kind of stories are at times labeled as anti-industry. But don't you think it's essential when we need a clean and green future? So how do you strike a balance between both?
You always need to strike a balance. I mean, I think the job of a journalist is to report fairly, accurately, and bring any kind of story to light. And I think it's equally important for policymakers and industry to recognize that all that journalism is doing is reflecting the concerns of real people. This is an incredibly diverse state with many, many large communities, tribal communities, coastal communities, all of whom are citizens of Odisha. And so the future of this state has to take, they are big stakeholders in the future of the state. So if you bring any kind of industry or any industry or any company which wants to expand, they have to take all stakeholders on board. That's just a natural, I mean, that's just common sense, even from an industrial standpoint. And therefore, this is not an adversarial relationship. It's very much one where we are creating or enabling the context in which you make the most sensible economic decision.
In this context, when we discuss about innovation and with mounting pressure on media houses from all quarters, how important do you think for the media owners to promote innovation at the workplaces? Innovation like charity should begin at home, don't you think so?
Yeah, that's why now I get most of the insight into what I should do next for my children. Basically, India is one of the youngest nations in the world. The audience that consumes our content is also very young. Not surprisingly, being a legacy media organization, we have a very old, we have an image of being very old, that our average listener, viewer is above the age of 30, which is a death knell for anybody in the media organization because the mean age is going down. So you need to be able to attract your 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 25-year-olds. And how do you attract them? You attract them both by producing the kind of content that they're interested in. They are going to enter the job market in a few years. So you want to ensure that they get the kind of information that allows them to both prepare for the job market and make those choices. And secondly, you do it in a way that they understand. So you have to be in the platform that they're on. That means you have to be on Instagram. You have to be, you have to be on YouTube. Because they're not going to take out, buy a newspaper, open page 3, 4 and try and read what's written there. They're just going to get it through their friends via their Instagram accounts. So you need to be on all those platforms, and to be on those platforms, you need to be able to speak that language. So yes, we all need to reinvent.
Yeah, very true. I would like to now open the floor for a couple of questions. If anyone has anything in mind, kindly go ahead. You can ask Mr. Majumdar anything related to the media. Anyone? Sisir Babu, maybe?
You're forcing him not to ask a question.
Mr. Majumdar, it's nice to see you here. What's your viewpoint on media social responsibility? We talk about corporate social responsibility, but broadly, okay. So, in this country, I think media should think about media social responsibilities.
Absolutely agree with you 100%. So, I think one of the things, I still run an editorial newsroom, and when we make editorial decisions about the kind of stories we commission, obviously we look at what the audience is interested in, what's making news today, what are the kind of things we need to cover, but we always will have some stories that we will cover because we think they're important to cover. Whether there's a huge audience base for them, whether people want us to cover those or not, and that is our social responsibility. Just to give you a very tiny example, for the last 6 years, every year we organize something called the BBC Indian Sportswoman of the Year Award, and we run a year-long editorial initiative where we focus on women in sports. Actually, I was here in Odisha, in Bhubaneswar, just a month ago, because this is a state which actually has done tremendous to advance the cause of sports, men and women. Because we felt that it's very important for us to focus on. This is just one example. So I think every media organization should try and recognize what is that one area of focus that they can adopt, and just stick to it and make that a commitment. That, to me, is our social responsibility.
Anyone else? Maybe I have one last question. Data journalism is an important area, but I don't think the Indian media is doing enough. What's your take?
Yes and no. I mean, data journalism is very, very important, although I think AI is also going to come in there. It's the reason a lot of Indian media are not doing enough is because it's not easy to crack. It's a very specialist, so you need very specialist knowledge to be able to be a good data journalist. And very few big media organizations are investing in it. One of the few who are is the Hindu Group. The Hindu Group has some excellent data journalists because they've invested in it. But it takes time, it takes money, and you have to be very patient. We have one data journalist. We have a team of 285 and only one data journalist who's brilliant. But that just tells you how difficult it is. I completely agree with you that it's one facet of the industry which is very underinvested in. But my fear is that because AI is going to take over for most number crunching in the years to come, I think it'll remain underinvested.
Thank you, Mr. Majumdar, for your erudite thoughts and for sharing your experience today with us. And definitely you've given us a lot of food for thought, so we'll look forward with connecting with you in future as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to request Chairman, Eastern Media Limited, Sri Somiranjan Patnaik, sir, to join us on stage and felicitate Mr. Majumdar for his presence. We really say you thank you, sir, for spending some time with us today on this floor. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Okay. Moving on, it's time to unveil the logo. You must be thinking of what logo it is, what should be it is. "10 years to 100 years." It means as we stand in 2026 and Odisha will be completing 100 years as a spatial state in 2036. When we are talking about the Vikasita Odisha, so Sambad Group has taken this initiative of taking up one concept each year and working towards the betterment of that sector. So that is why it's 10 years to 100 years. For this, I would like to request my dear colleague to please play the video of this logo.
উৎকল সভার বিক্ষোভ, উৎকল সম্মেলনীর দাবি এবং লন্ডন চুক্তিনামার আলোচনা। ପୂରଣ ହୋଇଥିଲା ଦୀର୍ଘ ବର୍ଷର ସ୍ୱପ୍ନ। ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଭାଷାକୁ ନେଇ ମିଳିଲା ରାଜ୍ୟର ମାନ୍ୟତା। ଓଡ଼ିଶାବାସୀଙ୍କୁ ମିଳିଲା ସ୍ୱତନ୍ତ୍ରତାର ସ୍ୱର। ଗଢ଼ି ଉଠିଲା ଓଡ଼ିଶା କେବଳ ଏକ ରାଜ୍ୟ ନୁହେଁ, ଏକ ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ପରିଚୟ। ଏ ରାଜ୍ୟର ମାଟି ଜାବୁଡ଼ି ଧରିଛି ଗୌରବମୟ ଇତିହାସ। ଏ ପବନରେ ମହକେ ସଂସ୍କୃତି ଓ ପରମ୍ପରାର ବାସ୍ନା। ଏ ପାଣିରେ ଦିଶେ ଐକ୍ୟ, ଐତିହ୍ୟ ଏବଂ ଐଶ୍ୱର୍ଯ୍ୟର ପ୍ରତିଛବି। ମହାପ୍ରଭୁଙ୍କ ଆଶୀର୍ବାଦରେ ଆଭୂଷିତ ଏହି ପବିତ୍ର ଭୂମି। ଏଠି ପଥର କହେ ପୁରାଣ କଥା, ମନ୍ଦିର ଗାଏ ଭକ୍ତିର ଗାଥା, ନୃତ୍ୟ ଓ ସଙ୍ଗୀତରେ ଜୀବନ ପାଏ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଆତ୍ମା। ଅନେକ ଝଡ଼ ଆସିଛି, ପରୀକ୍ଷା ନେଇଛି। ସମୟ ବଦଳିଛି, ଓଡ଼ିଶା ସଦା ସୁଦୃଢ଼ ହୋଇ ଠିଆ ହୋଇଛି। ଗାଁ ହେଉ କି ସହର, ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ସ୍ଥାନ ସାଉଁଟି ଧରିଛି ତାର ନିଜସ୍ୱ ଗର୍ବ, ଆତ୍ମୀୟତା ଏବଂ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଅସ୍ମିତା। ଉନ୍ନତି ପଥରେ ଅଗ୍ରସର ହେବା ସତ୍ତ୍ୱେ ମଧ୍ୟ ନିଜ ସଂସ୍କୃତିକୁ ସର୍ବଦା ସମ୍ମାନ ଦେଇଛି ଓଡ଼ିଶା। ପୁରୁଣା ପରମ୍ପରା ଓ ନୂଆ ଚିନ୍ତାଧାରାକୁ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ନେଇ ଓଡ଼ିଶା କରୁଛି ଏକ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଭବିଷ୍ୟତ। ଯେଉଁଠି ରହିଛି ଅନେକ ନୂଆ ଆଶା, ଅସୁମାରୀ ନୂଆ ସ୍ୱପ୍ନ ଏବଂ ଅଗଣିତ ନୂଆ ସମ୍ଭାବନା। ଏ ସ୍ୱର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଶତାବ୍ଦୀର ପୂର୍ତ୍ତି ପାଇଁ ଆଉ ମାତ୍ର 10 ବର୍ଷର ଅପେକ୍ଷା। କିନ୍ତୁ ଏହି 90 ବର୍ଷ କେବଳ ସମୟର ଯାତ୍ରା ନୁହେଁ, ଏହା ପ୍ରତିଟି ଓଡ଼ିଆଙ୍କ ଗର୍ବ, ସଂଘର୍ଷ ଓ ସ୍ୱାଭିମାନର ଏକ ଅମର କାହାଣୀ। ଓଡ଼ିଶା ରାଜ୍ୟର ଏହି ଜୟଯାତ୍ରାକୁ ଉତ୍ସର୍ଗ ସମ୍ବାଦ ପରିବାରର ଏହି ପ୍ରୟାସ। 100 ବର୍ଷରେ ଓଡ଼ିଶା ଏକ ଆହ୍ୱାନ, ଏକ ଆଭାସ, ଏକ ଅଦ୍ୱିତୀୟ ବାସ୍ତବତାକୁ ସୁନିଶ୍ଚିତ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଦୃଢ଼ ସଂକଳ୍ପ।
Thank you so much. For the logo unveiling, I would like to invite on stage Director, Eastern Media Limited, Dr. Monica Nair Patnaik. I would like to invite on stage Mr. Suresh Pujari, Honorable Minister of Revenue and Disaster Management, Government of Odisha, on stage, please. Along with them, I would like to request Archita Sahu ma'am, who is a well-known and eminent actress of Hollywood industry, and Chairman, Eastern Media Limited, Sri Somaranjan Patnaik, sir, on stage, please. So it's time to unveil the logo. Sahe Varsare Odisha. Thank you so much, everyone. Today, on this auspicious evening, we have Mr. Suresh Pujari, Honorable Minister, as our chief guest today. It's our privilege to welcome him for this event, who is one of the most seasoned and respected voice in the government of Odisha. An alumni of Sambalpur University with a rich background in science and law, his journey in public service spans decades. From representing the state with great distinction in the parliament as an MP to now serving as a core pillar of the state cabinet. Representing the Brajrajnagar constituency, he holds the crucial responsibility of managing the state's land resources, infrastructure foundations, and crisis resilience. Everyone, please put your hands together for Honorable Minister, Mr. Suresh Pujari. Today we have with us Mr. Srinivasan K. Swami, who is the Executive Chairman of R.K. Swami Hangsha Group, overseeing a diverse range of companies in advertising, market research, marketing analytics, and more. He has also held numerous leadership positions in professional bodies, received several Lifetime Achievement Awards, and actively participates in various social service initiatives. Mr. Swami currently serves as the chairman of Asian Federation of Advertising Association and IAA past chairman and world president. We have Mr. Abhishek Karnani with us today. With a dedication to journalistic integrity and innovation, Mr. Abhishek Karnani leads the group in delivering insightful news coverage and engaging content to its audience. Under his leadership, the Free Press Journal Group continues to uphold its legacy of excellence while embracing digital transformation and new media trends. Additionally, he serves as the president of the International Advertising Association India chapter, the sole globally focused integrated advertising trade association. We will be having on stage Director, Eastern Media Limited, Dr. Monica Nair Patnaik, who is a seasoned management professional with extensive expertise serving as the director of the group, Odisha's #1 media house, encompassing brands like Sambad, Radio Chocolate, and Connect News. She is an alumni and topper of the prestigious Hindu College. While pursuing post-graduation in molecular biology from Delhi University, she also held fellowships from the renowned Indian Institute of Science. We will be having on stage Mr. Somiranjan Patnaik, Chairman, Eastern Media Limited, is a towering personality of Odisha. He doesn't need any kind of introduction. He's a media magnate, politician, and a social activist. He is being regarded as one of the change makers who vociferously raises socio-political issues concerning all. Besides, he is a very well-known person for his out-of-the-box thinking and futuristic ideas. His articulative speeches inspire all. Now, I would like to extend my request to our all esteemed guests of today's evening. I request Mr. Suresh Pujari to join us on stage. I request Mr. Srinivas K. Swami, Mr. Abhishek Karnani to join us on stage. I request Chairman Sir and Director Dr. Monica Nair Patnaik to join us on stage, please. I request Chairman Sir and Ma'am to present Uttariyas to our esteemed guest. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. The inaugural edition of the Sambad CEO Conclave took place in 2022, focusing on the topic pandemic and beyond. The second edition, held in 2023, delved into the industry challenges and future prospects. The third edition in 2024 was international level, and the fourth edition of Sambad CEO Conclave 2025 focused on industries at the age of AI. Consequently, we have a video that presents the underlying vision of the Sambad CEO Conclave. Can we have the video, please?
Conversations create ideas. Some create opportunities. And some create the future. This is one such journey. A journey driven by a belief that progress is shaped not only by innovation, but by the leaders who dare to think beyond the present. Because every era of transformation begins with a vision. Vision to innovate. Vision to lead. Over 4 decades, Sambad has stood as more than a media institution. It has been a trusted voice of Odisha, documenting change, shaping narratives, and creating platforms that inspire meaningful progress. From celebrating Odisha's rich cultural heritage to leading transformative social initiatives, Sambad has always believed in the power of ideas and dialogue to create impact. And from this belief emerged a defining platform, a platform where leadership meets perspective, where industries meet innovation, where conversations become catalysts of change. Thus began the Sambad CEO Conclave, Odisha's first platform designed to bring together leaders and decision makers to discuss ideas shaping the future of business and industry. With every edition, the conclave evolved alongside the changing world, beginning with discussions around resilience and transformation, moving towards industry opportunities and emerging challenges, expanding into conversations around sustainability, and embracing the evolving possibilities of technology and innovation. Over the years, the Sambad CEO Conclave has become a convergence of powerful perspectives. Industry leaders, CEOs, policymakers, innovators, thought leaders, and distinguished personalities from across sectors, together bringing insights, expertise, and experience to conversations that matter. Meaningful discussions, powerful panel sessions, insightful deliberations, recognition and felicitations celebrating excellence and contribution. Moments that inspire industries to think differently and lead decisively. Distinguished guests, influential leaders, and eminent personalities from governance, media, business, and global industry associations have graced this platform, enriching its vision and strengthening its impact. Because leadership today is no longer about keeping pace with change. It's about creating the change, not simply adapting to the future, but shaping it. Today, Sambad CEO Conclave is more than an annual gathering, more than a business forum. It is an ecosystem of ideas, a platform of influence, a convergence of leadership, and a movement that continues to inspire the future. Because the conversations of today will define the industries of tomorrow. Sambad CEO Conclave, where leaders don't just discuss the future, they shape it.
Thank you so much. I would like to request Dr. Monica Nar Patnaik, Director, Eastern Media Limited, to address the guest on stage and the audience as well.
Thank you, Swastika. Once again, a very, very good evening to all of you, and a warm welcome from Sambad Group. I am really, really indebted to our Honorable Minister, Mr. Pujari ji. He had also come in the earlier session of our Sambad CEO Conclave. I am so, so thankful, and we are so grateful to you, sir, to have, in spite of all his commitments for today's celebrations, he could make it today. Thank you, sir, so much. I also thank from the bottom of my heart all the guests who have come across from the country of national and international repute, Mr. Srinivasan Swamy, Mr. Abhishek Karnani, And in front, sitting Mr. Ramesh Narayan and Neena Das Gupta from our International Advertising Association. Thank you very much for being here. It is an honor to have the Sambad CEO Conclave 2026 to start with industry practices of Odisha's time to lead Eastern India's. The next bet is Odisha. We've already seen that so many investments, so many industries have come up, and so many employment which has been coming up here in the state. We would like to showcase this in front of the country. It is also the privilege of Sambad Group to start this initiative for an industry dialogue with the stakeholders, with the people around that, so that we can see what the future is for the industry, for all of us, and have a roadmap ahead. It is for that reason, not only for the industries, but different sectors, we as Sambad Group had identified as an initiative which we just showed you, 10 years to 100. 10 years left for 100 years to Odisha. Each year we will dedicate for some kind of a project. Like this year, we will be dedicating for the women of Odisha, and we'll create a dialogue around it in this year. Gradually, we have we have different concepts to be taken forward from here. I would thank once again our sponsors, our partners who have made this event a success again and again. And I would want to thank all the delegates and panelists who have traveled from across the world to come here. Also, my team, Sambad Group team, who has helped this event make a grand success. Once again, I also thank International Advertising Association to be a part of Sambad CEO Conclave for the felicitation event of best advertisers and best advertising agencies. I thank you once again, and a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was very short and sharp. Thank you so much. Moving on next, I would like to request President, the Free Press Journal Group of Newspapers, President IAA India Chapter, Mr. Abhishek Karnani, to say a few words, please.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here at the Sambad CEO Conclave. My compliments to Sambad Group for creating a platform that brings together business leaders, policy makers, entrepreneurs, and thinkers to discuss the future of Eastern India. The theme of this conference, East Rising, is both timely and inspiring. For many years, India's growth story was viewed through the lenses of few large cities. Today, that is changing. We are seeing new energy, new ambition, and new opportunities across entire Eastern region. The East has always had the talent, enterprise, culture, and resilience. What we are witnessing today is the world beginning to recognize that potential. As president of International Advertising Association, I often say that the growth does not only happen because of capital and infrastructure. Growth happens when people embrace new ideas, learn new skills, and engage in meaningful dialogue. That is why at IEA, we have focused on 3 simple priorities this year: AI, skilling, and conversations. AI, because technology is changing every industry and every profession. Just a few weeks ago, we hosted IAA conversation with Dr. Manish Gupta from Google DeepMind. The discussion reinforced a simple reality. The challenge is not whether AI will arrive. It already has. The challenge is how we use it responsibly and effectively. Skilling, because the technology creates value only when people know how to use it. Our industry is filled with talented young professionals who need to continuously adapt to new tools and platforms. Recently, we partnered with Snapchat to conduct workshops on emerging technologies such as augmented reality. The object was simple: to equip young creative directors and marketeers with the skills they will need in the rapidly changing world. And conversations, because new ideas emerge when people come together and exchange perspectives. Over a year now, IEA Conversations has brought together leaders from business, media, technology, public life for candid and meaningful discussions. We have had the privilege of hosting people such as Professor Sunil Gupta from Harvard Business School, Navneet Sehgal, ex-chairman of Prasar Bharati, Dr. Sanjay Pradhan, president of the World Forum for Ethics in Business. And while we speak about AI, skills, and future, there's one timeless habit that remains relevant, and that is reading. Perhaps it is fitting to mention this at an event hosted by a newspaper group. Whether it was Warren Buffett or Elon Musk, many of the world's most successful leaders mentioned that they have created their empire because of reading. Technology may change, but curiosity and continuous learning will never go out of fashion. Thank you once again, Monica and Sambad Group, for bringing us together, and I wish everyone a lot of success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I request Mr. Srinivasan K. Swami, Chairman R.K. Swami Hangsa, President, Advertising Agencies Association of India, Chairman, IAA, past Chairman and World President, to say a few words, sir.
Honorable Minister Suresh Pujari, Mr. Soumyaranjan Patnaik, Ms. Monica Nair, friends, let me first congratulate the Sambad Group and Monica in particular, a good friend of mine, for actually picking this theme, Odisha, Time to Lead. I disagree with the fact that it is the time to lead, because Odisha has been leading this country in many ways. As you reminded us a little while ago, you'll be turning 90, already turned 90 as a state, and this is the first state to be actually separated on linguistic line 90 years ago. You are already in the lead. Many states followed that several decades later, not several years later. So you are on the lead always. You have been an amazing state where you lead in minerals, heavy machinery. You've been leading in various products and services. It is not as though that you need to start leading from now. You have been at the forefront in several ways. In the eastern side of India, there are 4 states. Among the 4 states, in terms of per capita, you have been the leader. You already have more than 2 lakhs per person in the state as annual income, which is amazing compared to even West Bengal. It's supposed to be a very, very important state several decades ago. It continues to be an important state now, which is at least 30% lower than what you are in terms of per capita income. In terms of other states, of course, you lead several points more. I don't want to get into that. But with all this, there are some things that you need to still make progress in. And I think the ministers, the government of the day are very focused on making that possible. I'm one of those few people who've been here the last 5 conclaves. This is the 5th CEO conclave, and all 5 on all the occasions, I made sure I came along with my good friend Ramesh Narayan. And I can tell you, in these 5 years, which we personally witnessed, Odisha had made significant progress. Every year we come and we see a new Odisha, new Bhubaneswar, and I'm very happy to say that it's been progressing not by few inches, but yards and miles, if I may add. So I want to congratulate the people of Odisha who have the second. I'm told that we are celebrating 2 years of the BJP government in the state. Modi just celebrated 12 years of as PM in the country, and I'm sure with the double engine that is touted about, Odisha will make significant progress as we move forward. You know, if you want to make comparisons with other parts of India, other states, it's important to note that we have some ground to cover. There are many things that we are doing right. We will certainly make that significant progress, big significant step forward to get that going. And I want to take this opportunity to wish Odisha the best, because we need to have strong competition. These days, there's good competition between states to make progress, and this kind of healthy competition will certainly put the emphasis on growth in every sphere that the state can bring to the fore. All the very best to the state of Odisha, to Sambad Patnaik, Monica, and everybody else. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request today's chief guest, Honorable Minister of Revenue and Disaster Management, Government of Odisha, Mr. Suresh Pujari, to speak his thoughts. Everyone, let's have a big hand for him.
Thank you very much. Namaskar, very good evening to all of you. Important dignitaries who are seated on the dais, Dr. Monica Patnaik, Director, Eastern Media Limited, Shri Soumyaranjan Patnaik, Chairman cum Managing Director, Eastern Media Limited, Mr. Abhishek Karnani, President, the Free Press Journal Group of Newspapers, and President IAA of Indian Chapter, Mr. Srinivas K. Swami, Executive Chairman, R. K. Swami Hansa, the distinguished dignitaries present in front of the dais, and this Sambad family. In fact, my government turned 2-year-old today. 2 years back, on the same day, at 5 p.m. in the evening, we took over the charge of the government in presence of the Honorable Prime Minister. And naturally, today is an important day for me as well as for Odisha. And naturally, on completion of 2 successful years, there was a lot of activities today, right from the morning, and it is still continuing. And I shall have to rush back to the Lok Sabha Bhavan as quickly as possible to attend the cabinet meeting today. A request came to me from the Sambad group to attend the CEO conclave, which coincides with the celebration of completion of 2 years of the government. Naturally, it was a big problem for me, whether to say yes or to no and I do not have the habit of saying no to any proposal. So I have left the main program at Khurda today and rushed to attend this conclave. This is perhaps I have attended the fourth edition of CEO conclave of Sambad. The theme of the CEO conclave is also important so far as this government is concerned. We have already turned 90 years old now, and just after 10 years, a decade from today, Odisha will turn 100 years old. So naturally, we took over the governance of the state at a time when the state has turned 90. This is not a question of turning 90 and after 10 years we will be completing 100 years of our existence. But simultaneously, after 21 years, independent India will also turn 100 years old. We have completed 2 years in government. The central government led by Sri Narendra Modi has completed 12 years in office. And when Sri Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister in the year 2014, we were placed at 11th position so far as the size of the economy of our country is concerned. Naturally, United States of America stood in the first position, followed by China, and we were on the 11th position. But during the first edition and the second edition of governance led by Sri Narendra Modi, we climbed from 11th position to 5th position in the year 2024, after 10 years. And during last 2 years, we have become the third largest economy of the world. Just 2 more countries, China and United States of America, are ahead. So we are climbing ladder one after another, and naturally we have a mission to take India to the new height of prosperity and glory by 2047. And as an Odia, Odisha will also turn 100 years in 2036. The video shown by the Sambad group also depicted how the state was formed in 1936. And the contribution of Odisha to the national cause, including its role during the freedom struggle, I think the role played by the state in the freedom struggle is also unparalleled in history. To make a mention about that, we have read in history that 1857 is described by history as the first war of independence. And perhaps the 2 distinguished guests who are present here also must be carrying the impression that the first war of independence was 1857. But for your kind information, most of the people who are from our state are aware. But for all of you who do not know the history of Odisha, did not have the occasion to know about the history of Odisha. Odisha is a state that fought against the Britishers long 28 years before the so-called first war of independence. I have come from a place where Bir Surendra Sai fought against the Britishers long 28 years before the so-called first war of independence. And freedom fighters from this region, this part of Odisha, they fought against the Britishers even before the western part of Odisha rose to the occasion to fight against the Britishers. Bakshi Jagabandhu, to make a mention about a name, I think Bakshi Jagabandhu, he fought against the Britishers long 45 years before 1857. Jai Rajguru was perhaps the first person to be hanged by the Britishers in the entire country. So Odisha, so far as the freedom struggle is concerned, played a pivotal role. Then the great sons of Odisha, they fought for the formation of a new state on language basis, and because of their struggle, the present state of Odisha was carved out from the central province and was formed in 1936. So naturally, after 10 years, a decade, we will be celebrating our 100 years of existence. And we have a mission, as rightly pointed out by the Sambad group. We have a mission to take Odisha to a new height of prosperity and glory. In this connection, the government of Odisha has prepared a roadmap as to how we will carry forward the progress of the state in the coming 10 years and ensure that by the time we turn 100 years old, we want a state with prosperity, with progress, and perhaps in all fields of governance. Odisha has the potential for that. So far as water resources is concerned, perhaps Odisha is the richest state so far as its water resources is concerned. 33% of the state is covered by forest. And mines and minerals, perhaps Odisha is the richest state in the entire country so far as its resources in the field of mines and mineral is concerned. And last but not the least, these resources are very much there. But last but not the least, to mobilize the resources, you need talent. And perhaps Odisha is a state which is full of talents. Odisas who are working outside in other states and abroad are doing a commendable job. Being part of the party and its functionaries since last 25-30 years, I have visited all the states of India, where I found that many Odiyas are contributing to the cause of different states in different positions and are earning a name for themselves. So far as talent is concerned, we have enough talent. So far as idea is concerned, we have idea. Resources is concerned, we have plenty of resources. Only the mission in front of us is to push it forward and mobilize the resources as well as the talent available in Odisha to take Odisha to a new height of prosperity and glory. And for your kind information, when we prepared the draft proposal of the roadmap for future progress of Odisha, almost 2.5 lakhs people they participated and gave their suggestion. And basing on the best paper as well as the suggestion received from around 2 lakhs and 50,000 Odiyas across the state, and of course Odiyas who are working outside, the final roadmap has been prepared. And we are working in that direction. We have just completed 2 years. During the 2 years, we have achieved a lot of successes in different departments so far as good governance is concerned. And we need, last but not the least, I must make a mention here that only through a government, success cannot be achieved. It is the participation and the cooperation of the people at large, and to achieve a goal, one has to carry everyone around you to achieve the mission. The words and sentence used by Sri Narendra Modi is like that: Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas. And Odisha is also working in that direction. We are very hopeful that Odisha will grow as a prosperous state, grow as a developed state, grow as a self-reliant state, and will be the hub center of the development of the entire Eastern India. Odisha is working in that line. The government of India is also lending a big helping hand so far as growth of Odisha and growth of the eastern part of India is concerned. This conclave will also give us sufficient strength to work more effectively in future and take this state in next 10 years to a new height of prosperity and glory. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful thoughts and words. Moving on, for the concluding address, I would like to extend my request, Mr. Somiranjan Patnaik, Chairman, Eastern Media Limited.
जय जगन्नाथ समस्त को नमस्कार सीओ कॉन्क्लेव पंचम संस्करण को आपण मान को समस्त को मु स्वागत करुच्ची ता पूर्वरु मंचासीन अतिथि मानक मध्यरे I would like to convey my best wishes to the minister for a second happy birthday for the government. He is the only आम गहन रे आउ जो दुई जन अतिथि अछंती आम पई तांकर उपस्थिति अत्यंत उत्साहप्रद एवं श्रीयुक्त स्वामी श्रीयुक्त कर्णानींकर उपस्थिति जड़े फ्री प्रेस रो मालिक तो आउ जड़े एडवर्टाइजिंग बेपार बिंधाणी प्रेस केते फ्री अच्छे मु कहि परिबि नाही किंतु एडवर्टाइजमेंट बेपार संकुचित होबार लगी से भली एक समय रे संवादर ए प्रयास को आपण माने उत्साहित करबा पई उपस्थित अछंती सेति आपण मान को अनेक अनेक कृतज्ञता जनाऊँची एवं धन्यवाद जनाऊँची। लंबा वक्तव्यर अवकाश नहीं मंत्री महोदय तांकर उपस्थिति माध्यम आमको उत्साहित करचंती तांको कृतज्ञता जनइबी तांकर आउ गोटे बड़ कार्यक्रम तांको अपेक्षा करी रही एवं से जो भी दुईटी विभागर दायित्व रे अछंती गोटे हला रेवेन्यू आ गोटे हला डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट विपर्यय को किपरि मुकाबला करा जाए तार नमूना ओडिशा गत वर्ष मानक देइछि ओडिशार गोटे नुआ जन्म 1999 मसीह महाबात्या परठारु आरंभ होईछि कहले अत्युक्ति हेब नाही एवं रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट रो गुरुत्व केते आपण समस्त जानती। मंत्री महोदयंकर उपस्थिति आज ये कार्यक्रम मर्यादा बढ़ाई तेणु तांको पुणी थरे मु अनेक अनेक शुभेच्छा जनाऊँगी। भाषण नदे तीनोटी बिंदुरे मोर वक्तव्य शेष करी। ओडिशा को 90 वर्ष हेलानी आउ 10 वर्ष परे आमे शतायु हेबा। शतायु हला बेलू जदि आमे चलुथुबा ताले ताठारु बड़ उपलब्धि आउ किछि न होई पारे। 100 वर्ष हो गले लोक शोई जाती किंतु आमको 100 वर्ष हला बेलू आमे आहरी अधिक चलचंचल हो पारिथिबा एभली गोटे विश्वास आमर रही। किंतु एकथा कहला बेले आमे समस्ते गोटे प्रश्न को बुझिबा दरकार जे ओडिशा विषय रे जेतेबेले आमे सब आलोचना करूँ आमको गोटे कथा आंदोलित करे जे ओडिशा इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम पॉलिटिकल इंस्टेबिलिटी। जेतेबेले ओडिशार अर्थनैतिक प्रगति और विकास कथा आलोचना करा जाए सबुबले गोटे वाक्य रे ताको वर्णना कर दिया जाए राजनैतिक स्थिरता नथिले विकास आगो को जाई पारिबो नाही। किंतु माननीय मंत्री महोदय आज पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटी रो प्रतीक हिसाब रे एठी बसिचंती। 1980 मसीहा परठारु ए कथा आउ केही कहू नाहंती। जो सरकार भी आसीची 1980 रु 1990 1990 रु 2024 पर्यंत मध्य आपण कहि पारंती एवं वर्तमान भी जो सरकार 2 वर्ष तले आसीचंती सेमाने आउ अभियोग करि पारिबे नाही। दे कांट कंप्लेन that they are suffering from political instability. Political stability perhaps they have got in plenty. एते राजनैतिक स्थिरता बोधे आम गणतंत्र पई शुभंकर नुहे किंतु राजनैतिक स्थिरता को विकास पई जदि विनियोग करा न जीवो ताहले निश्चित भाव रे आमे असुविधा रे पड़िबा। ओडिशा को जो राजनैतिक स्थिरता मिली भारत को जो राजनैतिक स्थिरता गत 12 वर्ष वाला मिली गत थर जो निर्वाचन हला ओडिशार अवदान से सबुठारु बेसी। मंत्री महोदय को मु गर्व करने कहबी दिल्ली रे जाए जे ओडिशा 95% 95% ऑफ पॉलिटिकल सपोर्ट केंद्र सरकार को देइछि। संभवतः भारतर आउ कौनसी राज्य एभली समर्थन देई नाही। 21 एमपी रु आमे 20 एमपी केंद्र को देइछु बोली तांका सरकार सेठी सशक्त ही अच्छी। जदि ये 20 जन न थांते ताले आहुरी असुविधा हेई थांता किंतु से अनुपात रे केंद्र सरकार ओडिशार विकास को मध्य अनुरूप भाव रे अवदान देवा उचित। द्वितीय कथाटी हला जे ओडिशा राजनैतिक स्थिरता पाइछि सत किंतु विकास कथा चिंता कला बेलू आ गोटे प्रश्न आमको आंदोलित करुच्ची। जेतेबेले ओडिशार कथा कह जाउची ओडिशार वर्तमान अनेक आलोचना करुथिले ओडिशार माटी तले बहुत खनिज संपद अच्छी कोयला अच्छी लुहा अच्छी बक्साइट अच्छी एवं सबुठारु बेसी क्रोमाइट मध्य आम माटी तले अच्छी। आमर माटी उपरे जंगल अच्छी आमर बेलाभूमि बहुत बड़ एते संपत्ति थाई आमको काहींकी कह जाउची जे पुअर पीपुल लिव इन ए रिच स्टेट। ओडिशा धनी किंतु ओडिया माने गरीब ए प्रश्नटी केवल सीओ मानक पई प्रযোज्य। जो ओडिशार ए संपत्ति को विनियोग करी विकास करिबा पई जो कंपनी गुड़िक आसीचंती तांकर मुख्य मानकर सम्मेलन रे को प्रश्न पचारि जीव आपन को टिके खराब लागु नहीं। आपन जो माटी ऊपर छिड़ा ही एते बड़ बड़ संस्था गढ़ुचंती शिल्प विकास करुचंती सेई माटीर लोक माने भारतर सबुठारु गरीब लोक। This is not acceptable to any sensible person in Odisha. Why should Odias will be the poorest people in the country when they own the richest minerals underneath the ground? ए प्रश्नर उत्तर देवा पाई सीओ मानक संकल्प नेबाकू पड़िबो। सही संकल्प नेबा पाई आज जो कनक्लेवर आलोचना करा जाउची आयोजन करा जाइची मोर शेष कथाटी हला कनक्लेव काहे करा जाए। मु पिला दिने या पढ़ी थी मो गुरुजी मते शिखई थिले पोप कर निर्वाचन किपरि हुए रोम रे जितेबले नुआ पोप को निर्वाचन करा जाए तांको गोटे घर भितर बंदी कर जाए ताको कॉन्क्लेव बोली कहा जाए कॉन्क्लेव रो वर्ड मु सेठी शिखी ताको चाबी पकई दिया जाए जेते दिन पर्यंत तुम्हें सबू बिशप माने एकमत न हब किए तुमर नुआ पोप हब सेते दिन पर्यंत चाबी खोल नहीं जो दिन तुमर सहमति हब जे तुम्हें नुआ पोप कर निर्वाचन कर सारिच से धुआं छाड़ीदेव उपरे सारा रोम देखिब किए आमर नुआ पोप है मत लगे कॉन्क्लेव रो उद्देश्य मध्य सेया वृद्ध कोठरी मध्य आलोचना माध्यम आम समस्त को मन तैयारी करने को पड़ो ओडिशार विकास आमर प्रथम 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 एवं प्रधान दायित्व तेणु ओडिशार विकास पाई से दलगत मतभेद थाई पारे से अन्य किछि मतांतर थाई पारे किंतु सहमति पाई सबु दल माने एकाठी नहले ए कार्य हो पारिबो नाही दुखर सहित कहवाक पड़ुछि आम इंडस्ट्री माने हुंतु बा मीडिया जगत हो बा अन्य समस्त हो अनेक समय रे विकास को नहीं आम एकमत हो पारुना राजनैतिक स्वार्थ एवं विभिन्न रकमर एजेंडा आमको विभाजित करुछि एक विभाजित समाज केबे विकसित हेबारे त्वरान्वित हो पारिबो नाही 10 वर्ष पर यदि विकसित ओडिशा को देखा चाहूँगी ताले एही कॉन्क्लेव मध्य सीओ मानक मध्य एभली एक निष्पत्ति एवं मन तैयारी करू जो मनरे मनांतर नथिबो मतांतर थाई पारे मतर विभाजन सत्वे मन को एक करि पारिले आम निश्चित भाव में सफल हो पारिबा एतिक निवेदन करी ए कॉन्क्लेव रे आपण माने जोगदे आमको उत्साहित करिथिबारु गोटे खबर कागजर दायित्व हैला आपण गोटू विज्ञापन तो मागिबू भी मागिबू आपण ठारू साहाय्य सहयोग तो नबू ही नबू किंतु आमर काम है लोकों सहित जोड़वा सरकार को विपक्ष सहित आनी एकाठी बसैवा विकासर संभावना को चरितार्थ करने जो समस्या गुड़िक अच्छी ताको समाधान करने गोटे वातावरण सृष्टि करवा एतिक निवेदन करी मोर वक्तव्य सांग करुच्ची वंदे उत्कल जननी।
So here comes the most awaited ceremony, the Sambad IAA felicitation ceremony. For this, I would like to request Ramesh Narayan, Director Strategy, Asian Federation of Advertising Association, to join us on stage, please. And Neena Dasgupta, CEO and founder, The Salt Inc., to join us on stage. And Archita Saho, eminent film actress, to join us on stage. And I request Chairman Sir and Ma'am to felicitate an Honorable Minister to our guest. Moving on, everyone on stage, I request to felicitate the IA felicitation ceremony, the winners. So first, felicitation to the growth partners. I request Hero Motor Corp Limited. Hero Motor Corp Limited. Mahindra and Mahindra. Any representative of this? Mahindra and Mahindra. TVS Motor Company Limited. Please come. Please come. TVS Motor Company Limited, Allen Career Institute, everyone who are being awarded on the stage. It's a request, please be near the stage so that we can have a group photograph with our esteemed guest on stage. Allen Career Institute, KL University, KL University, next, Gemini Edibles and Fats India Limited, please be near the stage so that we can have a group photograph. Thank you. Moving on, felicitation to the top 3 agency contributors, Expose Advertising, Expose Advertising, Anita Advertising, Anita Advertising, Anita Advertising. And felicitation to Best Campaign of the Year, Lalchand Jewellers Private Limited. I request Ajit Hans to join us on stage, please. So please be here. Best Campaign of the Year, Lalchand Jewellers Private Limited. We have Ajit Hans here. Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Mr. Pappu Ji. So please be here. Best Creative of the Year, Kimji KD and Sons Private Limited. I request Rajiv Menon to join us on stage, please. Ma'am, please be on the stage. We can have a group photograph. Thank you so much. I request all the awardees and our guest on stage for a group photograph, sir. All our partners, any representative of our partners, please come near stage so that we can have a group photograph very quickly. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. And many congratulations to all the awardees today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for making this occasion a successful one. We look forward for this cooperation in the future era. Sambad CEO Conclave 2026, supported by Jindal Steel, KT University, CV Raman Global University, SNM, AMNS, MGM Minerals, GMDC, ODM Public School, IMPA, NALCO, Tata Steel, Z Estate, Paradeep Phosphate Limited, Jindal Stainless, JSW Steel Limited, Hindalco, Harshpriya Group of Companies, Apollo Hospitals, State Bank of India, LIC HFL, Union Bank of India, JSW JFE, MCL, TRL, Farm B, Paradeep Port Authority, TV partner Connect News, radio partner Radio Chocolate, digital partner Sambad Digital, outdoor partner Ajanta. Thank you everyone once again for your support, and we are looking forward for this. And it's a request, as we are wrapping up this event, we have arrangement for your dinner, so let's have it together. Thank you so much.
Chand has helped millions make informed jewelry purchases with confidence, transparency, and peace of mind.